You've probably seen the headlines. Prison officers under pressure. Rising violence in UK prisons. Staff shortages getting worse. But how much does a prison officer in the UK actually get paid? And does that salary really reflect the risk and responsibility of the job? Let's break it down properly. If you're starting out as a prison officer in the UK, salaries usually begin at around £28,000 to £32,000 per year. This can vary depending on the prison, the location, and whether it's publicly or privately run. In London and some higher demand areas, starting salaries can be slightly higher. On paper, it looks like a stable and respectable income, but after tax and national insurance, a £30,000 salary works out at roughly £2,100 to £2,300 per month take home. That's the reality for most new prison officers, not a high risk premium, just a fairly average wage. Now let's look at how that changes with experience. Most prison officers with a few years in the role earn somewhere between £32,000 and £40,000 per year. There are opportunities to move into senior officer roles or specialist positions which can increase pay slightly. But for the majority, salaries tend to sit within that range. And this is where things start to stand out, because this isn't just any job. Prison officers are working daily with offenders, including individuals who can be unpredictable, aggressive, or violent. You're responsible for maintaining order, managing behaviour, and preventing incidents before they escalate. And sometimes that means stepping into situations most people would avoid. Now let's talk about the reality of the job. This isn't a standard 9-to-5 role. Prison officers work shifts. That includes early mornings, late nights, weekends, and bank holidays. The environment can be high pressure. You're constantly alert, watching behaviour, reading situations, trying to de-escalate tension before it turns into something more serious. And when incidents do happen, they can happen quickly. There have been increasing reports of assaults on prison staff across the UK, which is why many people question whether the salary truly reflects the level of risk involved. But it's not all negative. There are some clear benefits to the role. You don't need a university degree to get started. Training is provided. There's a structured career path if you want to progress. And there's strong job security with consistent demand across the UK. For some people, that structure and stability is a big advantage. But there are also hidden costs that don't show up in salary comparisons. Stress, mental fatigue, emotional pressure from dealing with difficult and sometimes volatile bobby-toll situations, and the responsibility of maintaining safety, not just for yourself, but for other staff and inmates. It's not a job you can easily switch off from at the end of the day. So is it worth it? If you're earning around £30,000 to £40,000 per year, you're earning close to the UK average salary. That's stable. But when you compare that to the level of responsibility and potential risk, it raises questions. Some people find the job rewarding. There's a sense of purpose. You're part of maintaining order and contributing to rehabilitation. But others find the environment and pressure difficult to sustain long term. Compared to other roles with similar responsibility, prison officers are not among the highest paid, and significantly lower than some private sector jobs with comparable risk. So it comes down to what you value. Job security and structure or higher earning potential elsewhere. Being a prison officer can be a stable career, but once you factor in the pressure, the working conditions and the risk, it's not quite as straightforward as the salary might suggest. If you want more realistic breakdowns of UK job salaries, subscribe. Next, we're looking at electrician pay and whether the earnings really match the demand.